Hey guys, I'm going to go ahead and do a tutorial today for the knockout method. I'm going to insert a picture of what I'm talking about. It's actually a really easy thing. It's just got a lot of steps to it. So my friend Alex came over. She taught me how to do this, so I thought I would go ahead and do a tutorial because I posted a picture of mine on a group that I'm in and like 600 people asked me how to do it. So I went ahead and opened a new project. And the first thing that we're going to do is get our last name on here. Make that as big as you want it. So I am using a 24-inch tile. And I'm going to go here for the letter spacing, and I'm going to put the letters really close together. And you can size it either down by moving it around, or you can go up here and unlock it and move it around that way. What I did with the first one I made, I went ahead and did Times New Roman, but I didn't feel like the letters were thick enough. So what I'm going to do is use the Sans, Comic Sans, whatever it's called. I'm going to unlock this, and I'm actually going to make it longer and thinner. I'm going to make this 16 inches long, and say 4.5 tall. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that because I was just showing you guys the difference. So now this is going to be the background name. The next thing I'm going to do is add the text for the first names. So you're going to do open bracket, then the names, underscore, then the other name, and then end bracket. So this is what it should look like. Then you're going to change that to the I Love Glitter font. And when you change it, it will give you the decorativeness of this. So now the best thing to do is to make it super close together. When you're putting them together, make sure that you have room for your E's to have this little thing. If you put them too close together, your E's will close up and you won't end up with a space in them. So then what you want to do is go over here where it says ungroup. That will take them all apart so you can move each letter where you want it. This is a little more tedious, but I promise you it'll look better if you do that. Okay, so once you have them all like that, and you're happy with it, you want to highlight them all, and you want to weld them together. Welding them together will keep the machine from cutting individually each letter. It will keep them one piece, instead of in case any of those little things overlap, it'll cut each one out, and they'll actually come apart. So this welding makes it all one piece where there's no lines. Over here where it says weld results, you want to put that to print. Now we're not going to print anything, but put it to print. Now the machine will only print or cut to 9.25. So in order to get the next step done, we have to shrink this down no bigger than 9.25. Then you're going to click Make It. It's going to give you this here. You're going to press Continue, and you're going to press Send to Printer. And right here, you're going to make sure this says Bleed is on. And then you're going to save the image. Click out of this, because you don't need that anymore. You're going to upload what you just saved. You're going to get rid of all of the lines around it. You're going to continue. You're going to save that as a cut image over here. You're going to put it into your picture. You're going to blow it up. Layer it over. Alright, so I think I decided I don't really like the way this looks. So sorry for me changing things last minute, but I think I want to go with a different font. And I've already looked up that font. I really like the way this one looks. So I apologize for changing things, but I just didn't like the way it looked. So I'm gonna go 15.5 by, let's see, 3.5. That looks good. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is bring this thing up here. Oh yeah, this looks way better. I just wasn't happy with the way that was looking. And I just want to leave enough of the letter E and the letter F for you to be able to see. I want to cut out the whole E basically. This is the terrible last name because either it's low and it cuts the G off, it's in the middle and it cuts the the F off, or you go high and it looks awful. Alright, let's go smaller with this and see. Center this back up, grab that. Right, fine. Center that back up, grab this. Oh my god, are you kidding me right now? Grab this, there we go. Alright, what if we go small and just a little low? That wouldn't be too bad. It ends in the Y, it starts in the G, you can see the F, you can see the E. I think I'm going to do this. Okay, so once you get a position to where you're happy with it, you're going to take both of these and you're going to go down here where it says slice. Once that comes up, I'm going to grab this, I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to make these both the same size. So these should be the same size. Take this one up here, find where it goes. This. Alright, anytime you can't get a hold of your other thing, you can just go move to back, and that'll bring up your other thing to give you. Make it a little bit smaller so it fits a little bit better. So you have that, and you're happy with the way that it looks, which I'm pretty happy with the way mine looks. You want to attach these both together down here, and then if it's the size that you want it, so we want to change this back to cut, and then we should be able to make it. Now, with that being said, it says at least one of your images is larger than 11.5 in height. So here you want to change this, if it doesn't automatically do it, to 12 by 24. That will give you the length that you're looking for. So I am going to tape my two 12 by 12 mats together. Two important things when you are doing this. One, make sure that you don't have the side with the little hole in it. They need to be bottom to bottom. I'm just using run-of-the-mill packing tape. Using some white vinyl for this. I'm gonna do continue. You want to make sure that you have plenty of space in front of and behind your Cricut to put this in. And that's good. I'm happy with the amount of space. So the thing about this is it's going to look bubbled up strictly because there's no stickiness under where the two mats sit together. Check my settings. I'm on vinyl. Awesome. Alright, so here goes. Alright, and it's done. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off the mat. What I'll do first is weed out this. I always have my scissors handy because sometimes you get so much stuff that you just need to cut it off. So I didn't do a good enough job making sure that they were spaced because one of my E's doesn't have the inside of it. So let me see if I can zoom in and show you guys a little bit better what I'm talking about. So these are my two E's. I have the E here that has this little hole right here. And then I have this E that doesn't. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of measuring just so I know where my I'm going to get some transfer paper. My suggestion is if you are super new at this and uncomfortable with what you're doing, your transfer paper, the better. I personally don't like to waste a lot, so I try to just get enough to get a hold of everything. Some people suggest using your scraper. I personally don't like to. I feel like it makes it harder to get the transfer paper off. So I just kind of go over it just real easy, especially if you have little things like eyes. Do a little bit, you know, of rubbing down for that. But for the most part, I spend more of my energy getting it off of this than getting it off of the transfer paper. So we're just gonna bend this back, get going here. Once you get the transfer paper off there, I'm just gonna take it, I'm gonna flip it over, and if you've marked, then you're gonna just line it up. So I'm gonna look for where I top on my F. A little bit of scraping for the smaller font. A transfer paper here, and it's one thing I do is I push and rub, except for where it's thin. Then you just kind of do one of these. Cheap like me, you can keep your transfer paper for something else. Just remember, it always goes back on the shiny side of your paper. It on here, we want to press it down. And I'll show you again. You can use your scraper, which, I mean, works in my opinion, but I prefer to just use my fingers. And I literally just rub. And again, so with the small letters inside, honestly what I do is I just kind of push and wiggle. That's what it looks like. Alright guys, that's how you do the knockout method. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below for me and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching. Keep